Back, boxing fans. So I saw today just a short video saying that Gervonta Davis doesn't need someone who's the B-side to him. So Gervonta Davis doesn't need somebody that's a B-side to him. So then what exactly does he need? Just because he is the A-side, that means there is no other A-side, which means everybody he's going to fight is a B or C or potentially D side, kind of like who he's fighting now in Lamont Roach, who's maybe a D or maybe even an E side, a guy who just fought on Pro Box on YouTube, right? Is that what he needs? Is that what Gervonta Tank Davis needs? Pro Box fighters, right? Major promotional refugees who are fighting on second tier fucking free channel YouTube boxing. So that's what Tank Davis needs, right? And all this is said, why? For the typical reason, right? To try to fanboy Tank Davis as if he's something that he hasn't quite lived up to. And this isn't hate. Like within the boxing community, regardless of your ethnicity, everybody says this, unless you're a diehard Tank Davis butt licker. And then, of course, you're going to try to fight it as much as you can. Just go look at Knockout Boxing, who literally talks about Tank Davis in every single video now. That's what his channel's become, a Tank Davis channel. I mean, you couldn't be much more pathetic than that. But nonetheless, that's what he has resided to, because that's what gets him the most clicks and the most money. So financially, that's the direction to go. And that's the reason he's doing it. Because the reality is, if you're a boxing fan, why would you release a video every single day only on one particular fighter? To me, that sounds like the most boring fucking shit ever. But okay, to each their own. But so Tank Davis doesn't need Lomachenko. So then who does he need? See, when I made that statement, because that's who this guy's referring to, me, I said that, yeah, Lomachenko was trying to get a unification fight with Tank Davis for over the last 7 years. When they were both champions at 130, and Lomachenko wasn't just chasing him, he was also chasing the other two champions as well. And all the champions from 130 pounds ducked him, just like all the champions from 126 pounds ducked him, forcing him to continue to move up weight until he finally found opponents that were willing to sign the contract. People literally defended Tank Davis and said, why does Tank Davis need to fight Lomachenko? He's young. He doesn't need to take on a guy like Lomachenko. Well, we know why they said that. Because if they felt that Tank Davis could have beat Lomachenko at 130 pounds, they would have been pushing for that fight. Because they would have known that would have been a fight that really would have made Tank Davis's legacy, especially at that point of his career, especially where Lomachenko was at that point, right? A pound for pound fighter, a guy that was making everyone he fought call Nomas, right? Hence the name Nomaschenko. Tank Davis at that point had one legitimate win against Petraza, who wasn't even the best champion in the division, because obviously that would have been Lomachenko. And after that, he never fought any of the other champions. And then he moved up in weight and never fought any champions again. Literally, Tank Davis, since he moved up from 130, has never faced another world champion. But he doesn't need Lomachenko because Lomachenko's a B-side. But yet, Lomachenko was a great enough opponent for Teofimo Lopez. He was a great enough opponent for Devin Haney. He's a great enough opponent that people actually wanted him to fight Tank Davis, and they got so in their feelings that they literally all called Vasily Lomachenko a duck because he didn't sign the contract to fight Tank Davis 7 years later. And of course, now they're excited about the fight. 7 years ago, they weren't interested. They didn't think he needed to fight Lomachenko. They were happy with him cherry-picking bum-ass opponents coming up in weight classes who were coming off of losses. Right? Literally. But now that they feel confident that Tank Davis could beat the 37-year-old Lomachenko, now they're pushing for the fight. See, the difference between them and me is that I still want the fight. I'm still happy for Lomachenko to fight Tank Davis because I'm happy to see fighters I like in great fights, unlike them who protected Tank Davis for the last 7 fucking years. And now that he's at 135 pounds, and you got guys literally like Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, and Lomachenko, who were all in and around your weight division, he's failed to fight any of them. None of them. And so if he doesn't need Lomachenko, well then I guess he didn't need Devin Haney. And he doesn't need Teofimo Lopez. And he doesn't need Shakur Stevenson. What he needs is maybe another guy coming up from 130. Maybe an O'Shaquie Foster. Or maybe we can think of somebody from 126. Oh, like Ford. Maybe he needs Ford. Maybe that's what Tank Davis needs. He needs more smaller opponents coming up in weight for him to knock them out, all to build up his legacy, fighting second-tier opponents that nobody literally gives him a fucking chance of losing to. Let me know what you think in the comment section. So if Tank Davis doesn't need Lomachenko, then who the fuck does he need? Oh, sorry, I know. He needs a Nui. He needs a Nui to come up from 122 to 135. That's what he needs. He needs that. And we know why, of course, they say that, because they're confident that Tank Davis could beat Inoue. If Inoue was at 130 pounds destroying everybody, the energy might be very different. Kind of like it was when Lomachenko was there. And they literally made excuses for Tank Davis to literally duck Tank Davis. When I made that statement, my point was Lomachenko can retire tomorrow. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, whether you like it or not. You can go over social media and you can try to bash his career as much as you want, but I guarantee you he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and you're going to hate that, and you're going to make response videos when he gets elected to the Hall of Fame. Too bad. It's unfortunate for you, because that's what's going to happen. And the reality is, Tank Davis, with what he's doing in his career right now, is no closer to the Hall of Fame than he was when he beat fucking Petraza. Because literally, he hasn't done anything significant since beating Petraza. 7 fucking years later, and we're still waiting for this guy to literally do something. Oh, he's the A side. And who gives a shit? What does that mean? He's the A side, yet he can't fucking pay anybody. I mean, you look at Canelo Alvarez, who's the A side. The difference with him is he fights who he wants to fight, because he offers them the money where they can't turn down the fights, and they sign the contracts. Unfortunately for Tank Davis, somehow that's not possible, because he lowballs his opponents, because he doesn't generate that much money, and he wants to take the majority of it, and he doesn't want to pay anything to his opponents. So unfortunately, top-level opponents aren't fighting him. So he's continuously left fighting second-tier opponents that nobody was asking for, that nobody cares about, that nobody wants to watch. So you can come here and fucking act as if somehow Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach is going to be a very big pay-per-view. Guaranteed it's not. You can come here if you're True School Sports or some other fucking meathead and say that, oh, Tank Davis's pay-per-view against Lamont Roach is going to do better numbers than the February 22nd fight in Saudi Arabia. What are you, a fucking idiot? First of all, it's not. Because the truth is, it's not going to be global, not like it is on DAZN. I know that, Prime is global, but I live globally, and I cannot watch Prime fights live in Taiwan. So no, it won't be fucking global. Whereas DAZN will be global. I can watch it, which means everybody else can too. So the chances of worldwide audiences watching that Saudi Arabian card compared to Tank Davis versus fucking Lamont Roach, I guarantee you the amount of money globally that fucking one makes compared to the other is going to be far more significant. And which one is it going to be? It's obvious. Because one fight card is a card that globally people are going to be interested in. One fight card is where a small majority of loudmouth fucking assholes from the United States are going to fanboy for, all because they fucking got their mouth on fucking Tank Davis's nuts. And the irony is, if this guy retires at the end of 2025, fucking what are you going to do then? Literally, the PBC is going to have 0 fighters of fucking interest. 0. And I know most of the guys pushing for Tank Davis are huge fucking PBC fanboys. And that's unfortunate for you because in truth, I'm not hating on the PBC. I wish they would have joined DAZN like everyone else and we would continue to get great fight cards with all these promoters working together. Because I'm not trying to fanboy for one promoter over another. What I want is boxing for everybody at an affordable price, easy to make fights, and for all of us to be able to get the fights we want on a platform that we can all watch around the fucking world. So if Tank Davis doesn't need Lomachenko, what the fuck does he need? Oh, sorry, I know. Lamont Roach.